everyone, and welcome back to LodeStar's Lending Leaders. I'm Elena Gardner, and today we welcome back Jim Paolino back onto the podcast and our CTO, David Spector. Welcome, guys.
Thanks. Hey, Dave's in the office, so we have to rope him into doing one of these.
Exactly. So the biggest thing that's changed since Jim was out is you became a father. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And Dave, you became a father at the beginning of 2020. So I'm going to ask you both this. So how did having a child change how you looked at LodeStar and the business as a whole?
Oof, that is a doozy to start as a question. You've had more time because Tess is older, so you can go first.
I value my time much more, right? You know, I love Tessa, or my daughter, and she takes a lot of work, as I'm sure all parents know, and you have to be there to help your spouse and to kind of watch all the amazing moments with the kid and have all the awful moments. So like you need to be able to sleep as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I think along that vein, like for me, at least my daughter Anne, who's 2 months old now, it's been such an exercise in patience that my patience in things outside of Anne is probably a lot more limited than it used to be, which can be good and bad in terms of dealing with people and dealing with things. But I think it will ultimately probably lead to being, valuing time and being decisive of what you do and not do. And I think I had posted about how great the LodeStar team was at kind of covering while I was out. And that has been nice for me because it's caused me to step away from my job and role in a way that I wouldn't normally. And not that I really did any like true personal development during that time, but it was just nice to have a mental break, which was really the first one I had since I started the company 9 years ago. So that was good. The other thing too, Dave and I had two very different experiences with parental leave. But I think that has been a thing for me, is valuing how we do that. And I think we have made a step, which isn't really common, of making sure our parental leave and maternity leave is the same at the company of 12 weeks. And I think that was probably informed by Dave's experience, which was pretty crappy.
Yeah, I think it also has benefits, not only for, obviously parental leave is helpful for if you're a man, right, if you're leaving, but I think it helps with kind of the normalization of, a woman isn't the only one supposed to be the caregiver, right? A man is supposed to be just as much. And I think it, unfortunately, some companies discriminate based on gender because, if you have a woman that might have a child, they might leave.
Right.
For us, it doesn't matter. You leave the same amount of time, right, if you're a man or a woman. So I think it helps in that regard too.
Yeah. So now we're discriminating against all parents.
Anyone that's in child years.
Yeah. Exactly. Child rearers. No breeders allowed. Yeah. Exactly.
I actually had another idea that I realized that the likelihood of like a personal use t-shirt gun has gone down a lot since I've had a child. Probably not going to happen.
That makes a lot of sense. I know how you said personal use. I will make sure that if we ever purchase a t-shirt cannon, you are the one to use it, Dave. I make that promise to you on a recorded line.
Thank you. That's really important to me.
I think the other thing for me that's been interesting is from starting the company and, supporting my own salary, which took a while to do, then supporting other people, but now having like our daughter on our health insurance and like having a company that's able to like support that feels very real. I had a good dad moment. Anne was 3 days old, and I was contacting our insurance company to add her to the policy. I was filling out the form, and it was like a add a dependent form, and they asked for her name, her information, and asked for her marital status. And I just thought, I was like, she is 3 days old. Give her time. She's working on herself. Who cares if she's married or not yet, guys? Like, I had such like a defensive dad moment when that happened. It was like the standard form that you would have dad anyone, obviously not just an infant, but it made me laugh. So I think a lot of those more real moments have come through kind of work-related things.
And I know you mentioned kind of how you've worked on the company over the last 8-9 years. I know we've definitely shifted a lot, even since I started here a year ago, and even since adding the Encompass integration now 4 or 5 years ago. How have you seen our clients shift, and how do you see that shift happening more in the future?
I mean, we've seen a crazy explosion of point of sale tools come out. Lots of people are clamoring for the kind of workflow of the consumer, interacts with your service.
Yeah.
And then all that information goes directly into your system of record, your LOSs.
Yeah.
And I'd say 50-70% of all our lenders are now trying to work on a POS. So we're definitely working with more POSs integrating in that environment.
Yeah, I think the way people view fees as a nice to have versus a necessity has changed. And because the speed at the front of the transaction of getting someone an accurate estimate of what they're going to pay, having those closing costs accurate up front is now a necessity, not just a nice to have. So our clients, I think, are a lot smarter. I always made the joke before, people couldn't spell API when they were dealing with us. But now they care about how things are mapped in their system. They care about other systems connectivity. They're looking at it all as a process. I think even now we're looking at other systems and ways that we can deliver that fee information really to get it in front of the customer as soon as possible in a very clear way. So the need for that connectivity, the need for that clarity is only increasing.
And then this is the big hit that I've got for you. So everyone's seen the news about Better and all of these mortgage companies that are laying off a lot of their team members. Something that we've been discussing a lot internally is kind of improving our workflows to have it so a computer can deal with situations that otherwise a human would be utilizing. How do you build a company and mindfully build processes to protect yourself against layoffs?
That's been something I've seen firsthand and talked about a lot. I mean, growing up in the title industry, I've seen my family's title company go from 96 people before the Great Recession to 16, and yo-yo kind of in between. And it's always been part of the industry. And I think us building a company in this industry, doing so in a way where we don't have to do that has been really important to us. Because I think you look at that, like there's a high cost to that. Not only, the reputational cost now to Better, the idea of getting people who are trained, firing them, and then maybe bringing people back after. There's so much just time and money wasted in doing that, right? It's one of the things we talk about a lot is the right thing to do is also a thing that's good for business. So trying to avoid doing that, I think is really important.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it, but like the processes are so important, and you want to make sure that they're scalable, right? So you don't want to have to hire just bodies to fill certain workflows. You want to make sure that there's tools and processes in place. I think probably another aspect of is that Better.com is a startup, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. So they have tons of funding, and all they cared about was growth until the point they're like, well, now we want to show we're making a lot of money, so we're going to sell, right? And that's fine. That's a good process for certain types of companies. But for us, we don't look at it like that. We're trying to grow sustainably. So there isn't all of a sudden an event where we need to fire half our employees or 10% of our employees.
And part of it too is when you hire, and we've, I think, slowly gotten better about this, is setting people up for success of what is their job going to be? What exactly do they have to do? Who is going to train them? I think earlier on, especially on sales and marketing, we figured, hey, this person knows a bunch of people or their spouse is in the industry or whatever. Let's just bring them in. They worked for X big company. They're going to be fine. And they usually don't, because one, they're not used to kind of this type of environment. And two, you're not giving them a lot of direction and you're not really setting them up for success. So no, I think, sorry, go ahead. Something that we talk about a lot too, especially with leveraging technology for some of our lenders is, what exactly is the best use of X employee, whether it be a loan officer, a processor, whatever it is. And for us, by the nature of being a data company, a calculator company, there's a lot of manual entry. There's a lot of button pressing sometimes. Our first client took me 40 hours to set up 8 years ago. I could probably set up that same client in 20 minutes. Actually, I don't think I could even set up a client now. Someone at the company could set it up in 20 minutes. You don't want me touching it, but so it's just kind of thinking of ways to continually do that. And I think that's something we've done a good job with going forward of how do you apply that same type of automation that we offer to clients across our business, across, all of the different points of it. So,
yeah, I mean, we just rolled out our new billing system,
Yeah.
right? And we used to be very manual, and Jim every start of every month would be going through all the lines and trying to figure out, who paid what, or who ran this many
August
services.
1st every year, I just inevitably am on vacation, and wherever I am, I need to wake up in the morning and do our billing before everyone else wakes up for the day. So very happy to not have to do that anymore.
Not only is it time, but it's also accident prone, right? So now we've automated everything so that it just flows through. And I think we're going to continue trying like automated processes like that.
I know I've posted pictures now, going back to your first question about being a dad, of Ann going and picking up checks with me from the post office. I posted a picture on LinkedIn of Ann doing the billing. And I said, like, we are going to work you out of a job, Ann. Like, you will not be able to, we will not need both of those roles soon enough. So she's going to have to figure out something else to do. But yeah.
It's so important. And I think a lot of times we look at these, stacks of paperwork and say, well, this is how we've always done it. And I think challenging yourself to say, okay, well, why am I spending 20 minutes doing this? Could it be 5 if I built a process or built a workflow or had a conversation with a vendor? And I think we're seeing more and more lenders come to us, specifically switching from templates or a manual entry process, and saying, hey, wait, why are we spending X amount of time and X amount of hours to do this?
Right. This is a big enough of a problem now that we should automate it, right? And as you grow a business, things just fall into that category over time. Of like, oh, this used to take me 1 hour a month. Now we're bigger. It takes me 2 days a month. We need to look at it.
And the last thing we're going to address is your matching vintage sweatshirts to top off on something fun.
No, this is before the rebrand.
This is like 1.5.
Yeah, this was like our soft logo change. We were wearing them both in the office anyway, but I made a point of putting mine on so we would match for this.
Yeah, I think it's like a sleeker, like a little bit more simplified design. Yeah,
the new one.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah. If you watch like the Silicon Valley, we're at least not like a letter.
Yeah. I like the new colors too. That was something that I was really happy about what we were able to do this year too. And that's some free business advice. Get company swag, because the amount of enjoyment everyone gets from it versus what it costs you is very high. Everyone likes free stuff. So I think some good company swag and sweatshirts and things like that is good. That's why I am giving those sweatshirts away like candy. And if we have to order more, we'll order more. Anyone who happens to be listening to this podcast, you can even contact us and you may get some free swag.
If you made it to this point, yes.
But for being a dedicated listener, please reach out, sales@lssoftwaresolutions.com. Find us on social. You may get a nice new zip up hoodie in the mail.
Well, what do we call people that like follow LodeStar tightly? Like LodeStar heads?
Lodies instead of roadies. I don't like Lodies.
We gotta work
the Triple L Mafia, like the Bills Mafia.
I don't know.
I like Triple L Mafia more than Lodies. Actually, I don't know.
We gotta workshop this.
We'll come back at the end of the year and do that.
Yeah.
And one person I do want to shout out while we're on the comment of dedicated listeners. We have one employee that I think has listened to every single episode and has no reason to. So thank you to Jesse Bishop for listening to every single thing.
And thank you for making all of our stuff look really good, because he's our
so pretty.
And developer, he's a great addition. He came in something this year.
First quarter.
And any updates that you've seen to our system that makes it look better is all him.
And a lot more to come.
Speaking of, actually, the next big update that I think a lot of people enjoy is an update to the printout of the LodeStar. So excited for that.
Slowly making everything prettier, including our sweatshirts. That's the goal.
Well, this is going to be our last episode for 2022. So as we leave, 2021. Our next episode will be in 2022. What is the one thing, if you had to pick one word to wrap up 2021, what would your word be? I'll give you 3 words to make it easy.
Tiring comes to mind for me.
I think like I don't know, I want to say kind of like moderation. Well, or like patience. I don't know, because we learn so much.
I was going to say we learned a lot were my 3 words.
Yeah. and the growth has kind of changed for us, right? Like it's been so different in personal and company, and it's all kind of like swirled together now to really.
And I think to your point about talking about better and the changes before, we realized how big of an effect those can have on a business, and things that we thought, we thought how we were responsible for our own success. Some of it may have been having a nice tailwind in the industry too. So that's definitely humbling, would probably be a good word for this year, actually, of just trying to figure out, what it's like to run a growing business in a market that's always changing. Humbling, tiring, something optimistic, encouraging. Yeah.
I mean, we have a good base, right?
Yeah. And our loadies here to help us. Yeah.
Load head. I'm going with load heads. I like
something
load
with starries. I don't know.
Starry sounds like it's like one of those like crunchy, like hippie, like
truckies. I like Triple L Mafia too, but we'll see.
Working on it.
We'll have it in 2022.
We're really trying to solve the important issues here.
The important issues slowly killing me inside, important things. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening. If you happen to make it this far, props to you. Shoot us an email, and we'll love to connect you with some swag. And we'll see everyone next week.
Thanks, everyone.